What does it take for a team of high school students to build an AI startup that wins the TYE Global Competition? In this episode of Startup Spotlight, we sit down with the founders of DuggAI, the team behind this year's TYE Global Competition. The team shares their fascinating journey of transforming a series of startup ideas into Dugg OS, an AI operating system that helps companies orchestrate and manage multiple AI agents and workflows. We also speak with Team Hydrobin, the third place winners, about their innovative startup that transforms ocean-bound plastic into durable, reusable shipping containers. Both of these teams share valuable insights into their startup dreams. Welcome to the Startup to Exit podcast, where we bring you world-class entrepreneurs and VCs to share their hard-earned success stories and secrets. This podcast has been brought to you by TiE Seattle. TiE is a global nonprofit that focuses on fostering entrepreneurship. TiE Seattle offers a range of programs including technology panels, the TiE Entrepreneur Institute, and the TiE Seattle Angel Program. We encourage you to become a TiE member so you can gain access to these programs. To become a member, visit www.seattle.tie.org.
Hello, everyone. In today's session, we are interviewing the winners of the Global TiE Young Entrepreneur Program. The TiE Young Entrepreneur Program is offered to high school students, and it teaches them how to build a business plan for a new business venture. The teams from 55 different TiE chapters then compete in a global competition. Today, we are featuring two teams from Seattle, Team Hydrobin and Team DuggAI. They placed third and first, respectively, in the global competition in recognition for the amazing companies that they've built. I'd now like to welcome Team Hydrobin to talk about the venture that they have created. So welcome. So let's start by introducing yourself. So Yatharth and Ananya, can you please tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Yatharth Kothari. I'm a rising junior at Interlake High School. And I think for me, some of my hobbies or interests, you could say, would include singing, playing guitar, and I want to pursue business as a career in the future in college.
Great. Ananya?
Hi, my name is Nanya Sharda, and I'm also a rising junior at Interlake High School. I really enjoy singing and dancing, as well as I do want to pursue business as a major, specifically entrepreneurship or business management in the future.
Great, great. So tell us about why you decided to join the TYE program. How did you hear about it and why you decided to join?
So I actually joined in my freshman year of high school, and I saw this on social media. And I always was interested in entrepreneurship and building a business, but I didn't really have any experience. And this I looked at the past winners and what this program was about, and it really stuck out to me because it was building something real. So that's why I just had to join this. And in freshman year, my team and we didn't really have much success, but the process really inspired me, and I wanted to continue this in my sophomore year with Hydrobin.
How about you, Yatharth?
Yeah, so for me, this was my first year in the TiE program. And I think initially I was just doing a lot of searching for entrepreneurship competitions or programs where I could, learn about making a company from scratch and not just compete, but also build a community with mentors and peers that I could work with in the future. And I think that's the differing point that TiE gave for me was the mentorship and the community that they build. I think one of the most amazing parts about the TiE program is the fact that each of these teams will get assigned mentors who are industry professionals, and they sort of guide you through, coming up with the idea and turning that into an actual business that you will pitch in the competition. So I think that's what really stuck out to me, and that's why I joined the TiE program.
Great, great. So let's talk about the business venture that you have created with Hydroben. So tell us more about what is the problem you're trying to solve and how does your solution address it?
Yeah, for sure. So there's a few problems that we're trying to attack with our product. The first problem that we're trying to attack is the global waste crisis. So globally, the issue of plastic waste filling up in the oceans is a rising issue. The number of the pounds of plastic that go into the ocean each year continues to increase in massive amounts. And post-consumer plastics, such as those that are found in the oceans, usually tend to just stay there and create large areas where they just stay and affect wildlife ecosystems and the overall health of the planet. And this issue is constantly growing every year. So this is one of the things that we were initially looking at as a problem that we could find a solution for. And the reason for this actually is all three of us are very passionate about sustainability and eco-friendly solutions. And so when we joined the TiE program and we were thinking of business ideas, we wanted to do something that we were passionate about. So the first thing that we looked at was what are some sustainability issues in the world that we could look into? And the first thing that stuck out to us was the plastic pollution issue. And alongside this, the other problem that we were trying to target alongside this plastic pollution issue was the fact that many e-commerce and logistics and shipping companies use billions of pounds of cardboard every single year. And cardboard, obviously, it's a single-use sort of material. And so these companies will spend endless amounts of money purchasing these cardboard boxes for shipping and reuse for their products. And alongside this, cardboard takes a toll on the forest area of our globe as well. So these are sort of the two main problems that we were trying to address. Now, our solution for this was to create a shipping box that was made purely from post-consumer ocean plastic. So essentially, our process would be to take plastic from the ocean that has been discarded there and use it to create replacements for these single-use cardboard boxes that would end up lasting quite a bit longer than cardboard boxes. So not only would it reduce costs for a business, which is their value proposition to buy our product, but also it would help remove the plastic waste and sort of help decrease the impacts of plastic pollution in the ocean, and also decrease the impacts of deforestation for the replacement of cardboard.
Got it. So have you actually built the box? Do you have a prototype so far?
Yeah, so we've actually got a prototype of our box. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me right now. Arav, one of our other team members, has it at his home. But we have built a box with our material of ocean plastic and jute fibers. And we got into contact with a manufacturer in India. The company is called Unbubble. They're a sustainability focused manufacturing company. And so after reaching out to a lot of manufacturers, we were able to come to a deal agreement with them. And they were able to send us a smaller prototype version of our box that we used during our competitions to showcase our product.
And how did you find this company?
So specifically for Unbubble, I think it just took a lot of market research. We reached out to a lot of companies, specifically in the United States as well. Some significant ones some people might know might include like Made Cascade. It's one of the biggest plastic providers over here. But what we realized was getting materials and getting them manufactured here was a lot more expensive compared to places such as India or China. And so we sort of shifted our focus towards companies that were in India and in China. And we just sort of went through a lot of different companies that work with plastics and material composites. And we were able to find Unbubble, and it ended up working out very nicely because they were also a sustainability focused company. So explaining our product and getting that connection on the product was very easy to do because the owner of that company, also understood the problem and was passionate about it as well. So that really helped us get that product out. And so that's kind of how we found our manufacturer, and that personal connection over the sustainability really helped us grow and build that deal with them.
Right. And have you gotten any kind of validation for your prototype so far? Are your clients, potential customers liking it?
Yeah, I can take this question. So basically, to understand like, the market size and like understand if this was an actual need for companies, we'd like spent multiple weeks going out and reaching out to companies such as Walmart, Home Depot, and other sorts of these companies. And we asked them like how much waste they had, like, with their pallet sized boxes. And not only did they have waste with their cardboard boxes, but they also like had a saran wrap around them, which would not last very long, and they would just throw it away really quickly, and it would end in the landfill. So these companies were looking for reusable alternatives. That is where like hydrogen comes in. And we actually came into contact with two Indian companies, Sky King and Kenco Logistics. So, and after our TiE pitch in Seattle, we had one person from Walmart came and contacted us, and another from Kenco. And they asked us to contact them on WhatsApp and actually have a one-on-one call with them on this product, because they liked it and it was like a big need in the industry.
So how many customers have you lined up so far?
Right now, we have 4, and I said Kinko wrong. I meant Sky King, Walmart. Well, Walmart, like we're still in conversation with them. It's like we have to first pilot with them before we can actually, start selling it. So that's like our major next step.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And so you have some initial, potential customers who will try it out. How big is the market opportunity?
hmm So, like I said, the market opportunity is pretty big. Like we reached out to these companies, we talked to them in person, and we actually understood that a lot of these companies are looking for eco-friendly options and something that is going to reduce their waste because a major company that we talked to was REI and they're like really sustainability focused. And so what they understood was like they tried to use materials like a thicker type of cardboard pallet size box that would last them more uses, but it's still like harmful for the environment because they'd have to compact it and throw it away and it only lasts 5 reuses. But with like Hydro Bin, we last up to 100 cycles and then it's like a recurring thing. So that is something that we understood. And then talking to other companies such as Safeway, they'd be willing to use this. So we think we understand that the market size is pretty big.
In the billions of dollars, potentially?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So I guess that your business model is pretty straightforward. You're probably going to be charging for this box. How much is it going to cost to build these boxes?
Yeah, I can take this question. So I can dive a little bit deeper onto the nitty gritties of our business model. So I'll start off with the actual landed cost of making the box and sort of shipping it here. The materials itself and getting the box made, our costs come to somewhere around $12. And we can get, with that $12, we can get that box manufactured and shipped over to the United States. And we are selling it at a price point of $35 for each box. And so at first, it might seem like, it's a really big investment, but if you look at it in the long term, let's say you have 100 cycles, a cardboard box on average will last 2 cycles, 2 to 3 cycles. So over the course of 100 cycles, the company is spending around $300 to $400 on single use cardboard boxes compared to the Hydro Bin, which can last up to 100 to 150 cycles. It's a one-time $35 investment. You split that over 100 cycles and it's over 86% cheaper compared to cardboard boxes. So that's sort of like our biggest proposition for a company to buy our product. We're saving them so much money over the course of 100 cycles that even though that first time investment is a little bit higher, it evens out in a much larger scale in the long run. And that those profits sort of start compounding over each other as they expand their fleets and start using more of our boxes.
Great. So now that you have some initial customers and you have somebody manufacturing the box for you, what is your plan moving forward? Are you going to be forming a company to take this forward? And how do you manage that, with your education also going on at the same time? What is your plan?
Yeah, so we do plan to make this into real business. So through TiE, we had formed, an LLC. We had come into contact with companies and we got a manufacturer. So that's all lined up. Like the next step is pilots. And we plan to manage this with our school by allocating time in the evenings and creating a schedule. Because mainly it's going to be the 3 of us working on this. So creating a schedule and working to our strengths is like the main part. Allocating time evenly. So that's how we plan to do this with school.
Great. So are you planning to go to college or will you go build this business right after high school?
Personally, I want to go to college and experience what college life is like, but hopefully Hyderabad hits off. Yeah.
That's great. So finally, I guess, now that you had that experience of creating this company and participating in the competitions, etc., what has your experience been with TYE? Would you recommend it to other high school students?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend this program to high school students. For me personally, it has really increased my like public confidence, my speaking skills, working in a team, critical thinking, also talking to like industry experts, that like takes like confidence. So and that's helped me build and then also while the presentation and the pitch being able to work with a team is really important and I feel like TiE like kind of embodies everything that an entrepreneur should have and like by the end of this I feel so much growth since my freshman year to now almost my junior year and I do definitely recommend this program to other students.
How about you, Yatharth?
Yeah, I think my experience with TiE has been amazing. I've learned a lot this year. And to be honest, I think the community that I've built and the mentors that I've gotten in touch with, I think they're not just for this competition, but I think in the long run, it's a really useful resource. And so I would definitely recommend it to any students who are interested or even thinking about joining, because I think not only does it help with community, but it also helps with sort of getting an idea of what you're interested in, because it really asks you to dig deep inside your own interests and find something that you're passionate about and try to create a solution for that. And I think that's one of the biggest things that the TIE program can offer. And I think not only that, as Ananya said, I think the opportunity that it gives to speak on a stage in front of people, I think I really enjoy public speaking. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to showcase my skills and also just talk to people about things that I'm passionate about, because it's not every day where you get an opportunity to talk to such industry experts and mentors and this amazing community about things and ideas and problems that you're passionate about. So I think the opportunity that it has given me is very valuable, and I think I would definitely recommend it to any students who are interested in joining.
That's great. That's great. All right, Gauri, do you have any final questions for the team?
No, I think, first of all, congratulations. I'm glad that you guys went through this and had a great experience. Wishing you guys the very best and, stay curious like you have so far been. I think that's the best thing you could do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, second that as well. Congratulations on creating this venture and also coming in third in the global competition. That's quite an accomplishment, given how many teams compete. And I wish you all the best in both for your education as well as moving this company forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It is a great pleasure for Shirish and I to introduce the winner of the TYE Global Competition, Team DuggAI. Welcome to our podcast, Team DuggAI. And congratulations for flying the TiE Seattle chapter flag high by being the third time repeat winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. First, let's introduce each one of you. Shaurya, you want to go first? Introduce yourself and other members of your team who are not here.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Shaurya. I'm a rising senior, and we're all from Skyline High School, and we're all rising seniors. This is Ashish. He's also from Skyline, and Krutik, another member who's not here today, but he was also part of the team.
Great. Ashish, welcome to the podcast as well. Why don't you, one of you, start with telling us why you decided to be part of the TYE competition or even the whole program?
So I think Ashish, so initially, I didn't really know anything about TYE or Y Combinator or any of this stuff. And so, I mean, I was just coding for fun back then. Like, I think it was in my 9th grade year, and I was just building random products, apps, and websites and all. And my friend over here, Ashish, he found out through another friend that there was some competition or some entrepreneurship thing that can help you turn your like product like into actual like business that you can do or something around it or a startup around it. And so, I mean, Ashish can explain more there too.
Yeah, so funnily, we actually just applied like last minute. Like, I mean, last year we both applied. Like, he was doing data summary, I was doing this other business, and we barely got in. Like, we kind of at the last minute we found out about this program, and then we were really passionate about like AI and technical ideas, and we wanted to actually execute that as a business. And TiE is a great place we found that to do that.
Yeah.
So you guys were doing other businesses, you mentioned. So this wasn't the first business that you decided to join to do, or was there another business you guys were working on?
So, I mean, for me, because, okay, so what happened last year was we joined initially together, but I had a different thing that I wanted to pursue, and he wanted to pursue something else. So we kind of like split the team. But before this, like I mentioned before, I was like building a lot of different apps, websites, and products, but I never was able to like scale any of it really and like get lots of users. And most of them just died at the product phase, right? But then, like, once I joined like last year, I built like a classroom lecture summarizer tool that was used by a few of our teachers at our school. And but even that, like, it did not scale too much, right? Like there was adoption there. But then like it was just like more like software side. Like this year was like the first one that actually like started scaling, like with actual adoption and all.
Got it. So why don't you explain for our audience the idea that you worked on this year together as a team?
So the idea is DuggAI, and so it's like a live product. And essentially, we started off as just thinking about what are some pains that we have in our life, right? And so initially, we just like go to school, you go to places, and you just need context from everything, and there's just no way to get all the class lecture context and all. So that's where my skills from data summary kind of dove into this. Because initially we thought we can just make like a voice recorder, record everything you say and everything you hear, and essentially give that to an AI agent that can then like make a to-do list for you or whatever. But then we realized that people don't use this because Washington State's like a two-part consent rule, where like both sides getting recorded have to consent to it. There's so much like compliance issues with that. And even like just building out a product with hardware involved is so much more difficult, and it's really hard to scale with that. So then we decided to cut back and think from like first principles. Well, why do I need the voice recording in general when you can just connect all your apps and all the data that there is and essentially get the same amount of context there, right? And so then we cut it down to that. But what we realized is it's still very vague and hard to drive adoption. So by talking to like 10 or 20 different like businesses or startups and companies around those lines, we decided why don't we just pick one workflow and just like stick to that and get that working really well where they don't need to use anything else for that, right? So we decided to go with something that had a proven market that was decently big enough to break into, which was emailing. And so at that time, all the emailing products and services out there weren't doing the drafting replies very well. So what we were able to do is essentially kind of like TikTok, but you see your original email and response email in one slide and you can scroll through it. And the way this was better than generic drafting is because the agent would just read all your apps and get context from everything and then essentially be able to draft it. But then like Claude Cowork, all these other stuff come, right? So we thought, why don't we expand the horizon on which we can do this, right? So essentially, we took the same product and we put that as a feature into a greater product, which is essentially Dugg OS, which is like an operating system for your agentic layer. So any company or startup that there is, they can contact us and essentially we tailor the product. So you know how there's like LLMs, agents, then there's agentic applications. That's the layer that we're going to work on and we're currently working on, right? And essentially, we allow all the agents that the company has, all the apps, for example, if they have Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, all these other agents, we make one interface for them to control all these other agents and manage them, right? Kind of the operating system for the company. And so emails, like one workflow is part of it, right? And there's like an inbox for that, but it's essentially a place where you get like how there's Microsoft, like Mac OS, all these for your operating systems. It's the same way, but for your agentic operating system.
I got it. So let's simplify this a little bit further for our audience. So you go to an enterprise and say, we have this product called Dugg OS. And how do you see the buyer saying, I want this? What will be the pain that you're trying to solve that they currently are not being, it's not being met by any of the companies you mentioned, whether it's Claude or whether it's Microsoft or OpenAI, anybody who is also could be saying the same thing to the enterprise. How is it that your solution will be the one that they say, yes, that one will solve my problem?
Mhm. So essentially, what we do is we first understand how the users use the product, right? How they use Claude, how they use Cursor, how they use Codex. So I'm not sure if you know this or not, but Cursor, Claude Code, Codex, they all store session files on your computer, right? And what we do is typically me and my friend over here, Sheesh, whenever we use Claude Code, Codex, or any of these other apps, we don't use one, we use many of them, and we use them all at the same time. And it's so confusing, annoying. The agents don't get the right context, and everything's just a mess at the end. And then you have to go through everything and sort it out. So that was the key pain point we saw in ourselves. And then when we talked to other companies, we realized they have the same problem too. They want to adopt AI, but it's so messy, like to adopt it, right? So we're not replacing Claude Code or Codex. We're a layer on top of them. So you buy all those other subscriptions too. But on top of that, you use us to help you manage and navigate through all of that.
So a developer, so I'm also clear, this is for our audience. A developer within a company will use Dugg OS as the main interface layer between all the tools that they currently have. Is that the thesis?
Yeah, in essence. And also, like, for a bit more context on the developer side, like, for example, Y Combinator backed startups, a lot of them, they have support, customer support. They have Discord moderation that they have to do. It's like one role, but they're actually doing 10 different roles. And so doing that, they usually spend 12, 15 hours a day, right? And so essentially what we can do is we can allow them to do all of that in a faster way because we can connect the support agents correctly. We can correct it all and triage it in an inbox type thing so you can quickly get through everything.
Okay.
And even with it, they'll spend a lot of
Go ahead,
time.
Ashish.
Yeah, even with AI tools, they'll spend a lot of time prompting and stuff. But DuggAI is proactive, so it'll help beyond that.
I see. So Ashish, then when you say proactive, how does your agent or your OS learn what my behavior is or day to day is? Do I need to log into yours, or how do I tell you what I do for a living or for work every morning?
So for
Yes.
instance, like we started off with email, right? Like for example, where we learned from there. I think was it 80% we started off confidence or something on the rapid responses shortage, right? And then like for example, Victor Chang, it went to almost 98.5%. And then we're applying that same model to Dugg OS.
I see. So
So
I still have to teach Dugg OS how I use my tools. Then you then make it easier for me. Is that
Well,
the
no. Essentially, I think what he was that was like our model back in December, right? And
okay?
we
Okay.
realized, yeah. So he was like trying to walk you through the timeline, but
Uh-huh.
essentially, what we do now is we
Mm-hmm.
first book a call with the customers or whatever it is. We understand what tools they use, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you can use Composio and quickly get connectors to everything. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality is, we install Dugg OS into your computer or whatever it is, and
Uh-huh.
what Dugg OS does is it reads all your session files from
Mm.
Codex or Cloud Code, and it understands how you use these tools. And the homepage for Dugg OS or the dashboard that we have, it's dynamic. So the AI gets to decide what's on the dashboard. It has custom widgets that it can create. So it's kind of like mini AGI for startups and companies in a way, because it can just learn from you on how you already use your tools, how Dugg OS can help you optimize it even further, and then it can deliver value that way.
I see. So now I get it. So first I install Dugg OS on my device, right? And is it primarily a personal device, or could it even be an enterprise? I mean, like like in the cloud. Well, where will the install be?
Yeah, so you would typically install it in your Mac. I mean, right now it's currently on MacBooks, but you can
Okay.
currently install it on that. And what it'll do, because it works on cloud also, but we would want you to install the app so we can read your session files. That's why. Yeah.
I understand. Okay. So I install it on my MacBook, and the once I install it, then it understands the sessions, then it presents a layer for me to better manage all these in the context I'm using them based on the sessions. Okay.
Exactly.
Now I've got. So who is your initial target? Because is it developers in Microsoft or newly funded Y Combinator startup? There's a whole range, right? Of people that could use it. Who are you targeting initially?
I mean, we currently are and were also started off with normal companies. However, then we moved on to YC companies because they got money and they're more AI driven. They're more AI first, and they want to be ahead in the league. Because even saving them some amount of time and getting them a bit ahead over what they would have been without it is insanely valuable to them.
I see. Okay, so lot of startups are the initial target. Y Combinator is your first go to market. Seems like it,
Yeah,
right?
beachhead.
And so, what is the business model then? How are you charging for this?
Mhm. So since we're not really using any of our own compute in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're using Cloud Code Codex and all, so we're actually able to have like extremely insanely high profit margins. Maybe the only profitable AI related company because we are not actually using the compute, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
they're connecting their Codex agents, their Cloud Code, CLIs, all that stuff. And we essentially just build them based on the seats they have or the amount of usage. And also, Y Combinator companies typically have like $500,000 in compute credits just sitting there. So they can also connect that over here. So we have like decent profit margins when we sell to them.
So is it usage of what I mean, is it a session time, a month? What when you say usage?
Oh no,
per
no,
month?
we don't have to pay for the usage because the
You don't
users
have to pay for it.
so
Okay.
that's why we have
So
the high.
so in essence, would it be fair to say you charge per download to the device? I mean, if there are 5 people in my company, do I buy 5 licenses from you like a SaaS, or is it something different?
Wait, there's many ways that it depends per the company, but currently what we have is a subscription because we also have a cloud layer where it can run in the cloud autonomously too. And we're also like I think in the next month we're adding phone calling and iMessages. So essentially you can phone call your agents and the agent will manage all your other agents in the cloud. And so that's why a subscription model makes more sense. But we do offer licensing. However, we haven't done any of that. So
So expand on the subscription that you have today. Expand on that for me. So how will I pay you if I subscribe?
yeah, so essentially we email them a Stripe link and they can just pay a monthly subscription from there. It
And
ranges
how much
anywhere
is that?
yeah,
How
anywhere
much is
from like
that?
$50 a month to like $500 a month per seat.
And how do I decide what bucket to subscribe?
Yeah, so like we walk them through it. Like for example, in the $20 a month, we don't include any cloud or anything. It's just like you install it and you'll keep getting software updates and all that stuff because the AI world's like changing very fast. So every week it's like something new, right? And then the cloud versions, that's typically around $50 a month and all. And then the 500, it's like where you don't want to use Cloud Code and those, then we'll use our own billing system and then bill you for that. And that can go up to whatever they spend.
Mhm. So
Like people want
where
to use
is the of the business models and the Y Combinator companies, what's the most popular subscription bucket that you have so far experienced?
Mhm. So we have it with another YC company, and essentially what they bought is they have $20 a month for the emailing systems and all, and then they bought a support agent for another $20 a month. And essentially, instead of paying a human to moderate their Discord servers, they can just do it with this. And I think we're processing around 5,000 messages a week on their Discord server for them. And so I mean, recently we just combined it to Dugg OS, but before they had to buy these two separate ones. So again, first principle thinking, we're like, why not just combine it into one place? And so then we just bundled it and yeah.
Got it. So this leads me to this question, right? If you are an AI native company that who you guys are all targeting at the moment, would they not say, "Hey, I could build this on my own"?
Mhm.
What makes them decide to buy your product over I could build on their own? Because in theory, they could build on their own.
Yeah, and they actually have built on their own, right?
Okay.
So there was this one company that we had piloted with, and I was extremely heartbroken that they just built it on their own. And then I was like, oh my God, right? And so essentially they used our software for a month, and I was like trying to get them. I was like, hey, like what's going on? Like, do you want to like get in on this or not? And then they're like, oh yeah, we need a bit more time to decide, right? And then a week later, I see, oh wait, why is the usage just dropped for this company, right? And then I realized, oh wait, they just built it on their own. They're like, oh yeah, we don't really need your service. We built this on our own. And that was for
Mm-hmm.
a Discord moderation bot.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, it's a bit different because the way it connects through everything, it's a bit more
Mm-hmm.
sophisticated than just a Discord moderation bot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And iMessages, phone calling, all this other stuff that we're doing, it's a lot more harder to clone
Mm-hmm.
and really don't got the time to keep doing that and updating it every week and all. Because whenever AI is like shifting so fast, right? They'll just rather pay a subscription than have to
Mm-hmm.
build it on their own. But
Mm-hmm.
Discord moderation, yep, they built it on their own.
So it seems to me that you guys have to change your prospect filtering. You got to decide, are these the guys who will build on their own or you think they will convert, right? You have to ask more questions up front as to what it is. Okay. I'm not going to dwell much on how big is the market because it's growing. Let's assume that. The iteration that you went through pre-TYE to through the competition, right? How did you guys keep iterating in a way that allowed you to look at the market while validating that your product is still valuable in the market? Because you had a history before, then you went through this to where you won the whole thing. So how did that happen? How did you decide? You gave an example of saying that's a feature. Walk me through one of you exactly how you guys decided this is what we're going to launch with, or this is the product we're going to go to.
So essentially, this started last year around when last year's TIE finals or TIE Seattle was, and we did not win that. And
Mm-hmm.
were kind of disappointed. But essentially back then, Cursor was growing still huge, right? It was bigger and bigger. And essentially we were, or at least I was thinking back then, like, okay, you know what? We can just start with a better coding agent for people to vibe code on, right? And of course, that did not turn out very well because the adoption there was very low. The margins were horrible. You're on a loss in that one, right? And it's just very hard to compete with existing players, right? So then we iterated, okay, you know what? We got to ground ourselves to users, right? We can't just keep thinking of something, making it, and then no one uses it because that's like the AI psychosis building loop, right? And so we grounded, okay, here's a set of users. They're behind it. How can we help them, right? And so then we just iterated through that, like I spoke about, going from there to the voice recording thing, which was just an idea again and not grounded to a user. Then we're like, okay, let's ground to an actual corporate or whatever user. And then we realized, okay, integrating to corporate's hard because they need all these other compliances. So we can go to startups and businesses, which don't require all these compliances. And so then we went there and then we realized email could be a wedge into this market. But then the email market also got really crowded and it's kind of a graveyard in a way, with a lot of tools just not being used a lot and not as good. But our context system was really good and that's what people typically were paying for. So then we switched to building context engine for all these other tasks that they have. And then that transferred to what we have now.
Got it. So, how did you decide among the three of you roles? Because you, as a startup, how did the mentors or you guys decided you will do this, I'll do this? You know, how did that the division of labor happen?
So, I mean, Krutik and Ashish, they kind of joined a bit like a week before or a few weeks before our actual like pitching and all. And essentially, so there's like an original team that was working, I was working with for the email thing. And I think it was back in December where we had a totally different team, right? Or it was just me with another group of people. And things did not work out there for some other reasons. And we decided, okay, you know what, we can split our own ways and go from there. And then I was just working on this solo for a while. And then a month before pitch, I was like, oh, wait, you know what? We need people to pitch this, right? It won't look as good if just one person's up there. So then we decided, okay, we can hop on. And then I added Krutik and Ashish then. And I was like, okay, yeah, you guys can join. And so essentially what Krutik did is he talked to, I think, 10 businesses. He was like on and off during the email wedge time. And then Ashish was handling customer support back then. And that's why we built the customer support bot to automate it. Because we're like, this is like a waste of time. We're just spending so much time there. But yeah, that's essentially how that worked out. Yeah. And we did have a
Wow.
capsule of, I think, 10 people. It was a group of people in another foreign country. It was with some UW professor who went abroad to teach a class or something. And he was like, they're looking for a project and this could probably fit their project and all. But that was very slow. And so I just decided to build it myself then. And this was around December when we're transitioning from the email phase to like the general operating system.
You know what's exciting and interesting is you've gone through a journey already. So, most startups take some time. You've already got a full turnover of a team, product iteration, deciding to make something a feature, dropping product ideas, killing them early. This doesn't happen in compressed high school startups. This happens in Y Combinator or something. But
Yeah.
I'm very impressed that Shirish and I have talked to a lot of startups, and they have trouble killing ideas quick enough. So kudos to you guys to have discovered that this won't work. Looks like Krutik is able to join. Yeah, there you are. Hey, Krutik.
Hey.
So, Krutik, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself as to what you're doing and how you joined and your experience joining TY.
Yeah, so, well, I'm Krutik. I just finished 11th grade at Skyline, just like Ashish and Charlie are here. And this is my second year doing TiE. Last year I was on Team Key Beauty, which got second place. So I kind of joined because a lot of my friends were doing it. So I decided to do it as well because it was kind of in the off season from DECA. So it's kind of like another DECA basically. So that's why I joined. And it was a bit more hands-on in like the fact that you had to build a business from nothing basically and then pitch it. So that's kind of why I joined because I want to go into the field of business. So it was a pretty good way to get, hands-on learning with it.
So just for our audience, DECA is a school organized program around marketing, correct? Is that's what DuggAI is? Or
Yeah,
something
it's like there's a
equivalent?
bunch of subdivisions. So like marketing is one of them, but you can also do
Okay.
financials and a bunch of
Okay.
business stuff.
But it's organized by your school or school district
I mean, it extends across the whole nation, but yeah, my school district does
is
compete
a
in it.
participant.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So now that the three of you are here and you've gone through this journey already as a team, as a company, what are you guys thinking? Are you guys going to get this thing full on or what's the plan?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm working on this post TiE too. I mean, it's a real startup, right? Again,
Okay.
and
So
then
you're going to raise money, you guys going to raise money, and is that the whole idea? Or what, when you say full startup, you could continue to work on it. That,
yeah, I mean,
but
I've
that,
had I've had an offer before for I think, but it wasn't too big of an amount, but it was I think around 50,000 or something. But then again, it was like about it was I didn't want to give up equity right now because
okay.
like why if they're giving like 500K for 7%, then why would I do like a 50,000 for 5%, right? Like that would make no sense, right? So then
Mm-hmm.
I decided like, and money's not really needed, right? Like it's software. Like if you're doing some hardware thing, then a lot more money is needed. But and then even just like an hour ago, I was on a call with another company that I'm trying to get this into. And what I understand from them also is that iMessages, WhatsApp, all these things, they don't have MCPs or connectors. And so what DuggAI does for them is we natively inject DuggAI into their disk and we can pull all the messages from there. So they have even more context now. And so essentially we're just like trying to figure out where we can go from there and how we can push the boundaries of what people can
So,
do.
so let's just double click on one thing, right? You talked about negotiating equity for money invested. Is that, did you guys pick that up through your mentorship at TYE? Did they talk about that? Or is that something that you guys have learned? Or how did this come about? Because that, that's a different skill compared to building stuff. So where did you guys understand is 500K for 7% is good enough? Is this just like you're watching a ton of Shark Tank? Exactly where did you guys come up with that thought?
So essentially, honestly, before TiE, I didn't know much about startups. Like I was in like the
Mm-hmm.
fantasy and like, oh yeah, just build something, ship a product, $1 billion company, right? But then in TiE, I think I learned a lot about like I didn't know what Y Combinator was before, and like once I
Mm-hmm.
saw like what Y Combinator is, I just like got obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, like the offers from another founder himself. I think he exited another company before, and he wanted to money like invest in other companies too. And I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to sell his company. Um, he said, "Oh, this is like great. I actually want to invest like in it." But yeah, I didn't want to take money right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like later on, like maybe hopefully I'm praying to God next year I can maybe do YC or something, right? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe the following years or something. But yeah, and then I think that was I think TiE like it's really good. Like it really teaches a lot of things and it's very hands-on. And like even like the mentors that are here, they're like all experienced and like have done stuff before. So they can like really pull you into the rails of how it should all work out.
And you too, Ashish and Kritik, what was your experience with TYE? All of you have done this before. You came back and wanted to do it again. What have you learned through the several year journey with TYE?
I think versus like DECA and these other competitions, TiE like it grounds you in like the real world. Like it kind of ignites and stokes like the fire for entrepreneurship in you. And like speaking to actual customers, that's not something you do in like DECA or these other companies or I mean other competitions. And you really get to feel what it is like to be a kind of like a YC founder almost.
Okay.
And really be part of that.
Kritik, what? Got it. Kritik, what you've been part of two winning teams. Last year you came in second. This year you came in first. What what's your take on the whole thing?
I think like one key thing TiE like teaches is the fact that you should keep changing the idea, keep changing it to like fit the customer use case
Mm-hmm.
because there's like multiple stages you compete to get to Seattle finals, and then from Seattle finals you go to I guess internationals, and there's different feedback you get at each stage. So one of the main things it taught us was the idea you come up with initially it's not the best, but then as you talk to people you get more facts on what people are actually looking for in a product, And then
Mhm.
taking that feedback, you change the pitch and you just keep
Mhm.
going forward. So the whole concept of like changing the idea was a big thing in TiE.
Excellent. Excellent. That's awesome. I'll leave you guys with this one thing, which is Shirish wrote the book From Startup to Exit. That's how we got our podcast name. It's his first book out of the 3 he's written. I always say it's a practical guide to actually how founders can navigate day-to-day life of a startup. And your point that you'd said about product market fit, iterate to get to a product market fit is a whole chapter. And I've read the book several times from the time he started writing. So I hope you guys all read it as you go through the journey. Just keep it on your nightstand because every day there's a situation that'll change, look familiar, but it's not the same. So you got to kind of you should almost treat it like your gym. You got to go in every day. So that's a way to use it as a guide. So congratulations to all of you. This is phenomenal. You guys are extremely focused. So one thing though, are you guys thinking that this would be after 12th grade, all in and put college on pause or go for it?
I mean, for me, I think especially like it really depends on how much traction more I can get. But I'm hoping that if this can take off by like summer or whatever it is for next year and get real traction maybe into YC or whatever, then like yes, then I'll probably take like a deferral from college, like take a gap or a year or something like that to pursue this. And if it really takes off, then I don't see a point for college then.
Got it. So I hope your parents will listen to this after, but I'm pretty sure. What about you, Kritik and Ashish? What's your parents thinking about this?
Well, I'm planning on still going to college because for me, I feel like I mean, Shalia is extremely knowledgeable in like CS and all, but the field I want to go into, business, I don't know much about it yet. And even though this is like a great way to learn, I honestly feel like my skill set as of now is not that strong. So I want to go hopefully to like a top college and find out what I'm missing. And then maybe once I get like a bachelor's, then maybe I'll come back and I'll find a startup to work on. But as of now, I'm still hoping to learn a bunch more.
Awesome. Ashish?
Yeah, I think I'd return if it gets a good traction, then I think it's worth, I mean, like, we'd have to have that discussion with your parents and all, but yeah, you have to
That's
see different
that's
paths.
awesome. You know, I hope you guys continue to stay curious. Shirish, this is a very, right group of TYE folks that we have talked to in a while.
Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting how you kind of navigated your way through to the current product, and that's what startup life is all about. Is trying to find product market fit. So congrats in achieving that, and I hope that all of you have great success with this, and you can actually pursue this as a career. But if not, you have developed a whole set of skills that you can apply to the next startup. So congrats, and congrats again for winning the TYE competition, global competition. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to our podcast From Startup to Exit, brought to you by TiE Seattle. Assisting in production today are Isha Jain and Mini Verma. Please subscribe to our podcast and rate our podcast wherever you listen to them. Hope you enjoyed it.